Healthcare professionals say a growing number of people are undergoing genetic testing to see if they're at a higher risk for developing Alzheimer's disease. For this week's Wellness Wednesday, we take a closer look at what could be driving more people to want to learn about their potential risk factors.
More than 6 million people in the U.S. have Alzheimer's, the most common type of dementia. The Alzheimer's Association says that number is expected to increase to roughly 13 million people by 2050. And while the National Institute of Health says there isn't a single cause of Alzheimer's, your genetics can play a big part.
I had the constant fear that, oh, it's good, I'm next.
After losing her mother to the disease, Wendy Nelson took a 23andMe DNA test to see if she had any copies of APO4, a gene variant that can increase a person's risk of developing Alzheimer's.
Comes up with very dramatic. You have two variants of APOE4.
With each copy of the APOE4 that you have, that not only increases your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease in later life, you tend to develop at a slightly younger age.
Pretty devastating news to learn.
While Nelson's results were not what she wanted, knowing her risk factors is giving her time to plan for what could happen in the future. And according to a health data company, more Americans are following suit, citing how testing for APO4 is on the rise. Some doctors believe more people want to get tested because medical breakthroughs are showing signs of slowing the progression of the disease. The makers of a new drug say it's been shown to reduce the rate of cognitive decline in patients with mild Alzheimer's by 27%. The National Institute of Health says up to 2 to 5% of people in the U.S. have one copy of APO4. Up to 5% have two copies.
Now, when it comes to that new drug, the cost for a year's supply is nearly $27,000. It also poses potential risks for brain swelling and microbleeding. Doctors say these risks can actually be elevated for people like Wendy Nelson who have two copies of that gene.